Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the Coalition for Justice and Peace in Palestine for the invitation to come and do the acknowledgement of country here tonight. I'm happy to be here in the capacity as Waverly Councillor and in the significance of this week also speaking to you in my focus as the Chairman of the Eastern Region Local Government Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Forum, a long acronym, ULGATSIF, which basically represents the local councils of Woollahra, Waverly, Randwick, as they still are at the moment, and was Botany, now Bayside, the City of Sydney, and was Leichhardt, and is now Inner West. So all those councils belong to our Reconciliation Forum. So as part of the acknowledgement, I'd just like to say, I'm sure it's obvious to a gathering like this that there are similarities between the Aboriginal Islander context and the context of the Nakba and the Palestinian peoples and what happens in Israel at the moment, that we were very fortunate to see with the support of crowdfunding and very good support of friends on a recent study tour to Israel and Palestine. It was an emotional roller coaster for me. I think by the first or second day, I'm crying and then go home to the motel at night away from where we'd seen villages during the day who'd been subject to demolitions, and hearing about the wall and seeing the structure of the wall and seeing places where there's the names of martyrs, most of them children, teenagers, and then seeing in the streets of Jerusalem what I thought here is so common to see, the school cadets going off on their weekend training, and someone says, no, that's the actual army. Those, to me, 17-year-old, but 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids, that's the army. So, okay. And then you hear these stories and you think, well, this is the army. I call them kids. And the names of these martyrs are like 13 younger children sometimes, for crimes like throwing stones or even thinking about the intention to throw a stone at the wall. So we've got kids with automatic weapons killing teenagers. So obviously it's not that situation here, but the similarities obviously between the oppression, the colonisation, the invasiveness of land, the compromising and the issues of sovereignty obviously all have similar context to the Aboriginal Islander situation here. So those are the similarities, and I'm sure people here know. I would just like to talk to one example of the incongruousness that I saw and in my naivety commented on when we were on the study tour. We went to a village where there was the demolition recently. A teacher was shot, I think, 3 months before we got there. And I think that the Israeli government and the military had to end up admitting that it was the wrong thing. They said first he was fleeing, but then as evidence came out, that was not the case. He had, my understanding, and I might be misquoting, he had his kids in the car. He was trying to get away from in front of the demolition, a bulldozer, and in the process was shot and killed. So outside this village, as we're going in, I see all these gum trees, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the work of the Palestinian and the village people. There's some kind of reforestation program going here. It's very green. They're planting these gum trees. And then I'm told, no, it's not exactly like that. Actually, they're planting the gum trees as like a cover-up or a removal. And where you see gum trees, sometimes it's actually a sign where there used to be a village and it's been demolished and now they've done this forestation. So I thought that's opposite to our situation. We see the replanting, obviously, and the maintenance of our flora as a cultural positive affirmation. Here, in this situation, using trees from our country is a symbol of oppression and part of that process. Because in my naivety, I said, oh, that's great. The local people, we could trade with, Indigenous people in Australia could trade with the villages. Because these trees make medicine. They make, like eucalyptus oil, and it's medicine. It's a tradable thing. It's in chemists here as a medicine. I thought this is an opportunity of international trade. Not so. So those are the complexities and the different things that my mind grappled with that actually a symbol from this country that we all have a cultural connection to. Australians all, I think, gum tree is Australian, not only Aboriginal people, is in this country, in this context, in this particular context, a symbol of the oppression and the trying to subvert the people. So not far from here, obviously, there's that process in a different way started here in Australia. So with those introductory comments and my quick explanation, I think, of the colours of this flag that you probably all recognise. If I can repeat what I was told by my friend just before I came in here, I didn't know what the colours meant, but I understand the red is for the blood, the black actually represents the Nakba, the oppression. The green is for the land, so there's commonalities between the green colour in the land in this flag and in the Torres Strait flag when it means the gardens and the islands. And the white, as I understand it, is for the heart and the way that the people see life and the context that they're in. And in white, on the Torres Strait flag is the durry and the star, and it also is a way of perceiving life and culture. So there's some similarities there. So with those things in mind, please join me in acknowledging the traditional ancestors of the country that we're gathering on here tonight, and please acknowledge our elders, past and present. And in the context of this Reconciliation Week 2017, I hope you get to enjoy reconciliation events and, as well as this gathering, think about the connections that this struggle has to Indigenous people here and all over the world, and indeed that this struggle has at its base a reconciliation of relationships between human beings, and hopefully more gatherings like this and what we hear tonight will help to resolve that to an amicable outcome. Thank you.